What's up, Gator Nation? Hope you had a great weekend. Today we're going to go on and cover the remaining needs of the 2026 class. Those Billy Napier and company have started off the 2027 recruiting class with a bang. And you'll know that if you stay tuned. What are the remaining needs of the 2026 class of the Florida Gators and Billy Napier and company that they need to fill in regards to the 2026 recruiting class, you ask? Well, I'm going to break it down for you in a little bit. With 13 commits, the Florida Gators have half of its 2026 recruiting class already committed. Although things change, Florida Gators on SI is taking a look at where the class could go from here, position by position. Florida Gators head coach Billy Napier already has a gauge on how many signees he wants at each position group in every recruiting class. As more and more prospects join the 2026 group, it's easy to see where Florida is having success and where they are lacking in the 2026 cycle. I think we got a general number of at each position without putting that out there for the competition, he said. After signing day on February 5th, there are always 5 OLs and a back or two, a tight end or two, 3 or 4 receivers, a quarterback or two, 3 DLs, 3 edges, 2 inside linebackers, and 5 DBs. You're plus or minus 1, he said. If Florida were to max out on Napier's target numbers, they would finish with 27 signees. However, it's more likely that they finish with around 25 signees. With 13 commits in the 2026 class already, and more possibly joining before the season begins in August, Florida Gators on SI breaks down what is left for the Gators 2026 recruiting class moving forward, position by position, comparing the class current status with Napier's traditional number of targets with a commit board at the bottom of the story. Gators 2026 commit board, a quarterback, 1, Will Griffin. The rundown, the longest tenured commit of the class, Griffin solidifies Florida's recruiting class at the position in 2026 and has turned into an extra recruiting staffer for the Gators. He's been an integral part of helping build the class. It would be shocking to see if Florida targets anyone else, as Griffin has not only embraced being in the class, but also being the leader of the group. Running backs, Carson Baker, and they still need one more. After signing 3 running backs in 2025 and having 2 in Jabbar and Jordan Baugh and Caden Daniels that will presumably be back in 2026, Gators won't need a running back heavy class in the cycle. If they have room, they could take another, but it wouldn't be a priority with 4-star Baker committed. Wide receiver, Marquise Daniels, Justin Williams, wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4 are open. Targets of note: 5-star Cedarian Morgan and 5-star Calvin Russell. Calvin Russell, 4-star. 5-star Calvin Russell, 4-star Davin Gorse, and 4-star Somo Wingo. The rundown: Daniels and Williams give Florida a strong start to its receiving class, with Wingo looking like the next to commit, with multiple predictions in Florida's favor. The 3 would form a strong receiver group in the overall class. Gore, Russell, and Morgan have named Florida as a strong contender, and there's a possibility the Gators would welcome a fourth receiver like they did last season, if the situation presented itself. Still, even if it all ends with just Daniels and Williams and Wingo, Florida should be satisfied with another strong receiving class to join the talented 2025 class. Tight end, Kakua Amua, and there's one more shot at another tight end. Rundown: Kakua Amua's commitment leaves the Gators with likely one more spot at the position. Kent seems to be the likely option of the four listed, but Pro Throw also high on Florida's board. Kent will announce his decision on July 12th, and whatever school he chooses will be a good indicator of Florida's future plans for the position. Offensive line: Carr, Campbell, Chakuma, and Lucas. And the fifth offensive line is open. Edge rusher: Raylan McCoy, and they still need two more. The rundown: beating out Texas for McCoy came as a sudden but welcome surprise for the Gators. Now Florida can enter the season with two edge rushers committed, with Henderson, the number 4 edge rusher in the class, predicted to choose the Gators. A pair of 5-stars could be enough for Florida to take a smaller edge group. However, the Gators are still in the battle for Crew, who described Florida as his dream school. Should the Gators miss out on one of their other targets to keep an eye on down the line, include either a flip target or a regular target, include 3-star Howard, who will decide between Florida and Georgia on Tuesday. USC commit Waffle, Auburn commit Harris, and 4-star Ford. Defensive line: they have Jameer Perez, and they got 2 more openings at defensive line. Targets of note: 4-star Preston Carsey, 4-star Bonnie Cleveland, and 4-star Valden Stoney. While holding one commit in Perez, the Gators are in a tough spot on the defensive line, with Perez seeming more and more likely a possible flip target for Ohio State at his in-state university, and Texas emerging as a strong candidate for Cleveland, who was previously predicted to choose Florida. Stoney, who also holds a prediction to choose the Gators, becomes arguably the strongest candidate to build the defensive line class around. The defensive line position seems to be one of the few position groups on the team that won't be settled until signing day. Linebacker: they're missing 2 linebackers. Their targets for Morris and Isaiah Williams might flip back. Having no commits, the Gators are set up for success down the road, with Forpa and Morris each recently naming Florida as their leader. Meanwhile, Williams, a former commit who flipped to Ole Miss, will likely remain a flip target, with his pledge to the Rebels being his 5th different commitment. Signing Forpa and Morris would fill the position group. Flipping Williams back would be a cherry on top. Defensive back: CJ Brognaw, Caden Hall, and then they got 3 more slots open. Targets of note: Jaden Brogdon, Louisville commit, 5-star Edwards, CJ Hester, 5-star, Chauncey Keenan, 5-star, Braylon Womack. The rundown: Bra, a corner, and a Hall of safety, gives the Gators a strong start to the class. Not to mention that with Florida being the predicted decision for Hester, the Gators could enter the season with over half of its defensive back class committed. Like the defensive line, though, this seems to be a position that will take time to round out, with 5-star Keenan being predicted to choose Florida State. and 5-star Edwards predicted to choose Alabama. There's also 5-star Womack and Louisville commit Warnag on the table. Alright guys, there you see possible targets and flip targets for the Florida Gators. Also, the Florida Gators got a 4-star wide receiver commit over the weekend for Rollinwith. It's 4-star wide receiver. Give me a second. Tremont Collins committed to Billy Napier and company to start the 2027 cycle, even though they're still working on the 2026 cycle. And Tremont Collins is a double star in high school. He's a football player and a basketball player. I'll be putting video of him both playing receiver and defensive back in football in high school and also playing basketball. Who knows if he ends up sticking with Florida and commits to Billy Napier and company. If Billy Napier and company are still around after the 2025 season, who knows if he might end up playing for Coach Todd Golden and basketball at the same time. But he's a two-sport star. And I'll read to you something more on Tremont Collins, but that's a big get because they're already working on 2027. The Florida Gators have scored their first commitment in the 2027 recruiting class, and it's a big one. On 3 4-star receiver athlete Tremont Collins out of Condale, Florida, announced via social media on Saturday evening that he has committed to Billy Napier's program. He's among the biggest UF targets to attend Rollinwith recruiting event this weekend in Gainesville. Collins actually gave the Florida staff word he would be a Gator during that event. I liked it a lot, Collins told Gators Online. Everything was cool, and the coaches were cool. Receivers coach Billy Gonzalez was cool. He was relaxed and excited after I told him, committed. Collins is the number 4 athlete and number 105 overall player in 2027 for On 3. He's a number 9 rising junior in the state of Florida. Listed at 6'2", 185 pounds, Collins had 13 catches for 402 yards, 30.9 yards, a reception to go along with 661 rushing yards on 31 carries, 21.3 yards a rush last season. He scored 15 touchdowns. Additionally, Collins recorded 33 tackles and 1 interception on defense. Of note, Collins is a standout basketball player at Condale. He averaged 13 points a game as a sophomore. I told my parents and stuff about committing to Florida, Collins said. This is like my 4th time being here. I just felt comfortable with the school and like the coaches and everything. Collins said he chose the Gators over Tennessee. I will also put a video of Tremont Collins highlights both football and basketball within the video and after the end of the video. Like I said, he's a 2-sport star. So, and he is a big, tall receiver. So I'm glad Billy Napier has started to work on 2027. And 2026 has a few little holes to go, but in June they stayed hot. Leave me your thoughts down below what you think of this, the 2027 remaining holes, and also what you think of the first commitment of the 2027 class. Hopefully he sticks if Billy Napier and company are able to stick around after 2025, because we know we have one of the toughest schedules in 2025. Well, Gator Nation, we'll talk to you soon, and like always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Gators.